Okay, so let's unpack this. We're about to embark on a truly starry deep dive today, giving you a roadmap to the cosmos for the rest of 2025. Think of it as, well, your personal guide to unlocking the secrets of the night sky. We've taken the Astro-Calendar 2025, celestial events and stargazing guides, right? And we've kind of distilled it, pulled out the most important nuggets of knowledge,
Yeah.
so you can transform from just, looking up sometimes
Yeah.
into someone really ready to experience the wonders above.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how much you can actually discover and, enjoy even without fancy equipment, just by knowing exactly when and where to look. This deep dive, it isn't just about dates, is it? It's really about understanding why certain moments are special and how to best view them for maximum impact and, well, what makes each one unique. We're aiming to give you those kind of aha moments that turn stargazing into something, well, profound.
Exactly. So let's kick off with August, setting the scene for some fantastic late summer stargazing. First up, Saturday, August 9th, we have the full moon. It's known as the Sturgeon moon. This is when the moon is completely lit up, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant, beautiful in the night sky. But what does a full moon like that really mean for someone trying to, observe the rest of the night sky?
Well, it's definitely a trade-off, isn't it? A full moon, it offers this spectacular backdrop for moonlit activities. Think evening hikes, maybe camping, or just soaking in the glow. But its sheer brightness, it acts like cosmic light pollution, really. It just washes out the fainter stuff, like distant constellations, any nebulae galaxies. So yeah, if your goal is deep sky viewing, you might want to circle some other nights on your calendar.
Good point. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Just a few days later, Tuesday and Wednesday, August 12th, 13th, we get the Perseid meteor shower. Now, this is widely considered one of the absolute best meteor showers of the year, especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. We're talking like potentially up to 100 shooting stars per hour. But the source notes a viewing challenge here. The moon's going to be nearly full. That's likely to dampen the show a bit. So what's your best advice for dealing with moonlight when you really want to catch a shower like the Perseids?
Yeah, that's a key challenge, for sure. My pro tip: try to position yourself so the moon is maybe behind a building or a tree or even just a hill, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time. That brief period of, deeper darkness can make a surprising difference for spotting those fainter meteors. And what's truly remarkable about the Perseids isn't just how many you might see, it's their, well, ancient lineage. These are tiny dust grains, right? Leftovers from Comet Swift-Tuttle. Some of these bits have been hurtling through space for thousands of years, finally hitting our atmosphere. It's almost like catching cosmic dust from the dawn of time.
Wow, that's a fantastic image. Really puts it in perspective. And speaking of specific timings, if you happen to be an early riser, you'll want to mark Tuesday, August 19th. That's the best time to view Mercury. It'll be at its greatest western elongation. Now, for listeners maybe not familiar, what exactly does elongation mean for a planet like Mercury?
Great question. Think of it like this. Mercury orbits super close to the sun, right? So most of the time, it's just lost in the sun's glare. Elongation is simply when Mercury appears furthest away from the sun in our sky. It makes it stand out more clearly. Western elongation, specifically, means it'll be visible low in the eastern sky just before sunrise. It's a precious little window to catch that elusive planet.
Perfect. Okay, early birds, take note. And then, on Friday, August 22nd, we welcome the new moon. For those new to stargazing, this is basically when the moon is between Earth and the sun. So from our viewpoint, it's practically invisible. And this creates the absolute darkest sky of the entire month, perfect for observing stars, and crucially, seeing that shimmering ribbon of the Milky Way. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, look for constellations like Delphinus, the dolphin, maybe Vulpecula, the fox, and the majestic Cygnus, the swan, flying overhead. For our friends down in the Southern Hemisphere, keep an eye out for Capricornus, the sea goat, and also the fainter but distinct shapes of Indus, the Indian, and Microscopium, the microscope.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the new moon is truly your gateway to seeing the deep sky. It really reminds us of the importance of finding those dark sky spots,
Yes.
away from city lights, light pollution. That dark canvas is just essential for the Milky Way to really pop. It shows us our own galactic home in, well, stunning detail.
Right. Okay, as we journey into September, we're signaling a new season. On Sunday, September 7th, we have another full moon. This one's known as the harvest moon. So again, expect those bright moonlit evenings, probably better for a walk than deep sky hunting. But what's particularly cool about this same day, September 7th, is a total lunar eclipse. This is when Earth gets right between the sun and the full moon, completely covering the moon, casting this kind of reddy glow, creating what's often called a blood moon. This particular eclipse, the source says, will be visible across the western half of Australia. What's the significance of that distinctive red color? Why red?
Oh, it's a beautiful demonstration of how our atmosphere works, really. The red hue comes from sunlight that's passing through Earth's atmosphere. Our atmosphere scatters away most of the blue light, just like it does during a sunset. So what's left is the red light, which then bends or refracts and illuminates the moon. So that blood moon is actually being lit up by all the sunrises and sunsets happening around the edge of the Earth at that exact moment. It's a, well, truly humbling sight when you think about it.
That is incredible. Earth sunsets lighting the moon. Wow. Okay, fast forward to Sunday, September 21st. It's another new moon, which means, again, darkest sky of the month. Ideal for stars, ideal for the Milky Way. Northern Hemisphere viewers, you can seek out Pegasus, the winged horse, and Lacerta, the lizard, while those in the Southern Hemisphere can spot Aquarius, the water bearer, Grus, the crane, and Perseids, the southern fish. Now, on that very same day, September 21st, it's also the best time to view Saturn. It's going to be in opposition. What does Saturn being in opposition actually mean for us observers, beyond just being bright?
Right. This is a prime opportunity. When a planet like Saturn is in opposition, it basically means Earth is directly between that planet and the sun. So this puts Saturn at its closest point to us for the whole year, making it appear at its brightest and, well, largest in our sky. Plus, it's visible all night long. It rises just as the sun sets. And while you can definitely spot it as a distinct kind of yellowish dot with just your eyes, this is the moment to get out a telescope, even a small one. That's when you'll truly appreciate those famous, majestic rings. They're breathtaking.
Okay, Saturn's big night. Got it. And then just the next day, Monday, September 22nd, we hit the September equinox. So what does this celestial turning point mean for our viewing plans?
It really is a turning point. The equinox means roughly equal day and night length across the globe. For us stargazers, it signifies the official first day of fall in the Northern Hemisphere and the first day of spring down in the Southern Hemisphere. This shift changes the sun's position relative to the background stars you see, which means different constellations will start becoming more prominent in the evening sky as the seasons progress. You'll start noticing new patterns emerging.
Okay, new season, new stars to look for. Makes sense. As we transition into October, maybe with a bit of an autumnal stargazing vibe, on Monday, October 6th, we have the full moon, the hunter's moon. And it's also a supermoon, which just means it's a bit closer to Earth, so it looks marginally larger and brighter than usual. Still stunning, of course, but remember, its brightness still makes seeing fainter things a challenge. Great for moonlit walks, though. Then, the very next day, Tuesday, October 7th, brings the Draconid meteor shower. Now, this one's considered a minor shower, about 10 meteors per hour maybe. Best viewed in the early evening, apparently, but that full supermoon from the night before is unfortunately going to wash most of them out. Tough timing. On Tuesday, October 21st, we get another new moon. So, back to those prime dark sky conditions for deep sky stuff. Northern Hemisphere folks, look for Pisces the fish, Cassiopeia with its very recognizable W shape, and Cepheus the king. Down south, your targets are Phoenix, the firebird, Tucana, the toucan, and Sculptor the sculptor. Then later that week, Tuesday and Wednesday, October 21st, 22nd, it's the Orionid meteor shower. This one's more of an average shower, maybe 20 meteors an hour. And they come from debris left standing. None other than Halley's Comet. Anything particularly fascinating about Halley's Comet or its connection here?
Oh, it's quite remarkable when you think about it. Halley's Comet is, probably the most famous comet in history. It's visible to the naked eye, and people have been observing it for millennia. We see these Orionid meteors every year because Earth passes through the trail of dust and ice that Halley leaves behind on its roughly 75-year orbit around the sun. So when you see an Orionid streak across the sky, you're literally witnessing a tiny piece of this iconic cosmic traveler burning up in our atmosphere. Pretty cool. The best time to see these is usually near the constellation Orion, after midnight.
Wow, a piece of Halley's Comet. To wrap up October, on Wednesday, October 29th, it's another good time to try and spot Mercury. This time it'll be at its greatest eastern elongation, which means you should look for it low in the western sky just after sunset. So instead of being an early bird, you're looking for it as twilight descends.
Yeah, these recurring chances to see Mercury are a real gift, because it's often so elusive, isn't it? Always hiding in the sun's glare. Knowing exactly when and where to look, like these elongation dates, really boosts your chances of catching that fleeting glimpse.
Absolutely. Okay, now, ushering in November. We start preparing for those colder but often much clearer nights. On Tuesday and Wednesday, November 4th and 5th, we have the Taurid meteor shower. This is another minor one, maybe up to 10 meteors per hour. The source notes that even though there's a full moon around then, it's still, a good reason to bundle up and get outside under the stars. And yes, speaking of the moon, on Wednesday, November 5th, it's the full moon, the beaver moon. And guess what? Another supermoon, appearing slightly larger again. Then, mark your calendars for Monday and Tuesday, November 17th, 18th. That's the Leonid meteor shower. This one typically produces maybe up to 20 meteors per hour. Visibility for this one should actually be pretty good thanks to the new moon phase around then. And the source mentions those in the Southern Hemisphere might have a better shot weather-wise. Any final tips for catching the Leonids?
Yeah, patience. Patience truly is key with almost all meteor showers. Find a comfortable spot, maybe a reclining chair, bundle up well, and crucially, let your eyes adjust to the darkness for at least 20 minutes. That means avoid looking at your phone, seriously. The Leonids themselves can be quite fast and bright. I remember one year I was watching getting cold, starting to think about packing it in, and then suddenly, whoosh, a brilliant fireball streaked right across the sky. That one moment made all the waiting completely worth it. It can be like that. Oh, and then right after, on Wednesday, November 19th, it's the new moon. So again, darkest sky of the month, perfect for stars and the Milky Way. Up north, you can spot Aries, the ram, and Perseus, the hero. Down south, look for Horologium, the clock, and the long constellation Eridanus, the river.
Great advice. Patience and no phones. Okay, finally, we conclude with December. Wrapping up the year's celestial events, on Thursday, December 4th, we have the full moon, known as the cold moon, and it's the very last supermoon of 2025, so it'll appear slightly larger again. Like other full moons, great for moodlet stuff, not so great for faint fuzzies. Then on Sunday, December 7th, it's Mercury time again. Best time to view it at its greatest western elongation. So look low in the east just before sunrise. Now, a major highlight for December, the Geminid meteor shower. Saturday and Sunday, December 13th, 14th. This is labeled one of the strongest meteor showers of the year. We're talking potentially up to 120 meteors per hour. And the Geminids are particularly interesting because they come from an asteroid, not a comet, right?
That's exactly right. And it's what makes them quite unique among the major showers. Most meteor showers we see are debris from comets, like the Perseids or Leonids. But the Geminids, they're bits shed from an asteroid named 3200 Phaethon, which is odd because Phaethon behaves a bit like a comet when it gets close to the sun, releasing dust. This dust trail is what Earth passes through, giving us this spectacular annual show. The meteors themselves are often bright, and they tend to move a little slower across the sky compared to others, which makes them really satisfying to watch. You have a really good chance of spotting shooting stars after midnight, assuming the skies are clear. I remember one year watching the Geminids under a really dark sky, and it honestly felt like the sky was just raining light. It's unforgettable if you get a good night.
Wow, 120 hour from an asteroid. Sounds incredible. Definitely worth braving the cold for. Okay, then on Friday, December 19th, it's the new moon again. Your last best chance in 2025 for those really dark skies, perfect for stars and the Milky Way. Northern Hemisphere constellations to target include Ursa Minor, the Little Bear, with Polaris, and Ursa Major, the Big Bear. In the Southern Hemisphere, you can look for Taurus, the Bull, and the unmistakable Orion, the Hunter, now prominent again. And to round out the year's big celestial markers, on Sunday, December 21st, we have the December solstice. This marks the shortest day and the start of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. And conversely, the longest day and the start of summer down in the Southern Hemisphere. And for one very last shower of the year, on Sunday and Monday, December 21st, 22nd, it's the Ursid meteor shower. It's a minor one, 5 to 10 meteors per hour, radiating from near the Little Dipper. The source advises visiting a dark sky spot and looking up just after midnight. The moon will be a thin crescent, so it shouldn't interfere too much.
You know, all this talk about moon phases raises an important practical point, doesn't it? How do you choose your stargazing nights? Basically, new moons are your absolute best friend for deep sky observations. Things like the Milky Way, faint galaxies, nebulae. They need that truly dark canvas. Full moons, while they are beautiful in their own right, make it much harder to see those fainter objects. But they're perfect for other outdoor stuff, like those moonlit hikes we mentioned. So it really depends on your viewing goals for that specific night. And it bears repeating. For any kind of stargazing, finding a dark spot away from city light pollution is absolutely crucial. It makes all the difference in the world.
That's a perfect summary. So there you have it. You really do have an incredible celestial roadmap now for the rest of 2025. From dazzling meteor showers like the Geminids to the best times to spot planets like Saturn or Mercury and when to look for specific constellations, you're pretty much equipped to seek out these wonders.
Yeah, so what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means that with this guide, you're not just sort of passively looking at the sky anymore. You're engaging with it. You're connecting, in a way, to these vast cosmic cycles that have fascinated humanity for millennia. Understand the dance of our solar system, the origins of the light you're seeing. It just transforms looking up into genuine discovery.
What a thought. Really elevates it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So as you look up this fall and winter, maybe consider this. What new wonder will you discover in that vast expanse above? And how will simply stepping outside, looking up, maybe armed with a little more knowledge now.
Right.
How will that change your perspective on the world and, well, the universe around you?